To find the domain of a square root function, you have to find where the radicand thing inside of the square root is greater than or equal to 0. So for this example, we have 3x minus 7 within the square root, and we'll say 3x minus 7 needs to be greater than or equal to 0. I'll add 7 to both sides, divide both sides by 3. So the domain is where x is greater than or equal to 7/3. To do this in interval notation, we do 7/3, include it by doing a bracket, and then go up to infinity. The domain for this one, we have to find where x squared plus 3x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. And there's a few ways we could do this. We could do this graphically by thinking of the graph of the parabola and seeing where it's above the x-axis. We could actually do this purely algebraically by completing the square. So let me show you that way of doing it. So we have x squared plus 3x, and I'll take half of 3 halves, square that gives me 9/4. So I'll add 9/4 and subtract 9/4, adding 0. I have minus 4 still there, that's greater than or equal to 0. Now I'll group these first 3 terms, and I can rewrite this as x plus 3 halves, that whole thing squared. I then can combine 9/4 and -4. That gives me negative 25/4. I'll add 25/4 to both sides. I have x plus 3 halves squared is greater than or equal to 25/4. I'll then take the square root of both sides. When I do this, I get the absolute value of x plus 3 halves, and that's greater than or equal to 5 halves. Now, for an absolute value greater than a number, we have 2 different cases. X plus 3 halves is less than or equal to -5 halves, or x plus 3 halves is greater than or equal to 5 halves. We do the same operation subtracting 3 halves from both sides. So we get x is less than or equal to -8 halves, which is -4. And this one, x is greater than or equal to 2 halves, which is the same as 1. I'll write this one more time. X is less than or equal to -4, and x is greater than or equal to 1. To write this in interval notation, we have negative infinity up to -4, include the -4 there, and we're joining that with x greater than 1, so from 1 to infinity, and it's just like that. To do this in the calculator, we can go to the original equation or go to the original radicand and plug that into our calculator. I'll do x squared plus 3x minus 4, and I'll graph this. And I'll trace here, and I see at 1, it's 0. So to the right of 1, all values greater than 1 or equal to 1, it's positive, which is what we're looking for. And then also at -4, it's 0. And to the left of -4, the graph is positive as well, which is what we need. So we could say it's from -infinity all the way up to -4, and then 1 to infinity. If the zeros aren't exactly integers, you can use the calc menu, so second, trace, and choose the second option, 0. You then go to the left of where it intersects the x-axis, press enter. Go to the right of where it intersects the x-axis, then press enter. Press enter one more time, and it gives you the x value at where it's 0.